In a time of brokenness and despair, the walls of Jerusalem lay in ruins. The city that once gleamed with the glory of God was now a shadow of its former self. Its gates burned, its defenses crumbled. The people were scattered, and the spirit of the nation had all but vanished. But deep in the heart of the Persian Empire, there was one man who could not ignore the sight of Jerusalem's suffering. His name was Nehemiah. Nehemiah was a cupbearer to King Artaxerxes, a trusted position in the Persian court. Yet, despite the comforts of his life, his heart longed for his people and their devastated homeland. When he heard from his brother that the walls of Jerusalem were still in ruins, it broke him. His heart was heavy, and he sought God earnestly in prayer. "Lord, I pray, let your ear be attentive to the prayer of your servant. We have sinned, but I ask for your mercy and guidance. Grant me favor in the eyes of the king, for I long to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem." Nehemiah's prayer was filled with passion and determination, knowing that this mission was bigger than himself. When the king noticed Nehemiah's sadness, he asked, "What is it you wish?" With God's favor, Nehemiah boldly shared his vision: to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. The king granted his request, providing Nehemiah with letters for safe passage and resources for the work. But Nehemiah's journey was not without opposition. As soon as he arrived in Jerusalem, he faced mockery, ridicule, and threats from those who did not want to see the city restored. Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem the Arab, rulers of nearby regions, sought to hinder Nehemiah at every turn. They mocked his plans, saying, "What is this you are doing? Are you rebelling against the king?" Yet Nehemiah stood firm in his faith, answering, "The God of heaven will give us success. We, his servants, will start rebuilding, but as for you, you have no share in Jerusalem." He knew that God had called him to this task, and no threat or opposition could deter him. With the strength of the Lord, Nehemiah rallied the people of Jerusalem, and together they began the monumental task of rebuilding the wall. The work was grueling, but Nehemiah's leadership, prayer, and unwavering trust in God inspired the people. Despite the challenges, the wall began to rise, brick by brick, each section a testament to their faith and hard work. In just 52 days, a task that seemed impossible was completed. The walls of Jerusalem stood tall once again, a symbol of restoration, hope, and the faithfulness of God. Moral lesson: Nehemiah's story teaches us that no task is too great when we walk in God's will. Despite opposition, we must remain faithful, trust in His guidance, and be bold in pursuing the restoration of what has been broken. God has a purpose for each of us,